If you follow a few simple guidelines while growing ginger, you can expect bigger, stronger rhizomes and a far more generous harvest. Many times, people plant ginger and it just stays underground doing nothing for weeks, or even worse, it decays before ever sending up shoots. Today I am going to teach you exactly how to plant ginger correctly, so you get healthy growth and lots of ginger to enjoy later. Be sure to stay until the end because I will share a quick trick to help you get even more ginger from every piece you grow. Let's dive in. Tip number 1. Selecting and preparing your ginger. The first step focuses on choosing and preparing your ginger rhizomes before planting. This single step can decide your success or failure. When selecting ginger to plant, look for pieces that are firm, thick, and full with clear, well-developed growth buds. Those small, pointed, slightly greenish or pinkish bumps, often called eyes, are where new shoots will emerge. You want them to look plump, shiny, and active, a sign the rhizome is vital and ready to grow. Avoid any rhizomes that look dry, wrinkled, desiccated, soft, or show any signs of mold, blue-gray patches, or extreme shriveling. Understanding your source is critical. If you buy ginger from the grocery store, prioritize organic. Conventional, non-organic ginger is almost universally treated with a growth inhibitor like sprout nip chlorprotham. This chemical is applied post-harvest to prevent sprouting during long transport and storage, which is excellent for shelf life but terrible for gardeners, as it can keep your ginger dormant for months. If organic isn't available, seek out locally grown ginger at a farmer's market, or better yet, purchase certified seed ginger rhizomes from a garden supplier. These are grown specifically for planting, are guaranteed to be disease-free and untreated, and often come from varieties selected for robust growth rather than just shelf appearance. Now, here is a crucial pre-planting ritual. Before planting, give your ginger rhizomes a full overnight soak in lukewarm water. This rehydrates the rhizome, which may have been in cold storage for months, plumping up the cells and signaling to those dormant growth buds that it's time to wake up. I enhance this soak with a method I've used for years, adding a little 3% hydrogen peroxide to the water, at a ratio of about 1 tablespoon per cup. This creates an oxygen-rich bath that gently bubbles away, helping to remove fungal spores, bacteria, and any residual inhibitor from the surface, giving your ginger a truly fresh, clean, and energized start. After soaking, you'll likely need to cut your rhizome into propagable pieces. Ensure each piece is a substantial 1 to 2 inches long, and most importantly, has at least 2 or 3 healthy-looking eyes. Use a clean, sharp knife sterilized with rubbing alcohol to make clean cuts, minimizing damage. Then, the critical drying step, allow the cut pieces to dry for 24 to 48 hours in a warm, well-ventilated spot out of direct sun. You're waiting for the cut ends to develop a light, calloused, slightly suberized seal. This natural barrier is your primary defense against soil-borne rot pathogens once the piece is planted in moist soil. Rushing this step is a common cause of failure. Tip number 2. Choosing the right container and soil. The second step is building the perfect home, the proper container and soil mixture. Ginger's growth habit is key here. It has shallow laterally spreading roots and rhizomes that grow outward rather than digging deep. Therefore, a wide, shallow pot or planter is vastly superior to a deep, narrow one. I suggest a container that is at least 12 to 14 inches in diameter and 8 to 10 inches deep. This provides ample room for expansion. Fabric grow bags are a phenomenal alternative. They provide perfect air pruning of roots, preventing circling, and offer exceptional drainage and breathability. The cardinal rule: whatever vessel you choose, it must have multiple unobstructed drainage holes. Ginger rhizomes are prone to anaerobic conditions and will quickly rot in stagnant water. The soil medium is where you can truly set your ginger up for stellar success. Ginger thrives in a loose, rich, well-draining, and slightly acidic to neutral pH 6.0 ISO 6.5 blend. The goal is a fluffy, crumbly texture that holds moisture evenly but never becomes compacted or soggy. My proven recipe is as follows. Mix 2 parts of a high-quality, all-purpose potting soil, which provides structure and some nutrients, with 1 part of well-rotted compost or worm castings for microbial life and sustained fertility, and 1 part of an aeration material, either perlite, coarse horticultural sand, or fine pine bark chips. This combination provides long-term nutrients, excellent moisture retention with precise control, and impeccable drainage all at once. To supercharge this mix, I incorporate organic amendments before planting. For each medium-sized pot, I mix in a tablespoon of bone meal, a slow-release phosphorus source essential for stimulating massive healthy root and rhizome development. A light sprinkle of kelp meal provides a broad spectrum of trace minerals and growth hormones that enhance plant vigor and stress resistance. A sprinkle of sifted wood ash, optional, adds potassium for overall plant strength and disease resistance, but use sparingly as it can raise pH. Fill your container with this pre-moistened damp, not wet soil mix, leaving about an inch of space from the rim for watering. Tip number 3. Planting depth and technique. The third step is the physical planting. And precision here is where many enthusiastic gardeners go wrong. You must resist the urge to bury ginger like a potato or a bulb. Ginger rhizomes are surface huggers in their native habitat. They should be placed just 1 to 2 inches beneath the final soil surface, with all growth buds' eyes clearly oriented facing upward. Planting any deeper, say 3 to 4 inches or more, creates a significant hazard. The young shoot must expend immense energy pushing through a heavy soil column. The rhizome sits in cooler, less aerated soil, and the risk of it rotting before it ever breaches the surface skyrockets. If planting multiple pieces in one large container, space them a generous 6 to 8 inches apart, center to center. This gives each plant the room it needs to expand its circle of rhizomes without immediate competition. Lay each piece horizontally on the pre-moistened soil bed, cover them lightly with just enough of your prepared mix to meet the 1–2 inch depth rule, and tamp down gently to ensure good soil to rhizome contact. Immediately after planting, I apply a thin ½ inch layer of organic mulch. This layer is a non-negotiable game changer. Use straw, shredded leaves, or cocoa coir. It acts as a moisture-regulating blanket, keeping the soil underneath evenly moist by reducing surface evaporation. It protects the shallow, tender rhizomes from temperature fluctuations, and it suppresses weed competition. This simple step dramatically reduces your watering workload and creates the stable, protected microclimate ginger craves. Tip number 4. Watering and humidity. The fourth step is mastering moisture, which is absolutely paramount for ginger. As a tropical understory plant, ginger evolved in an environment of consistent high humidity and steady soil moisture from frequent light rains, never waterlogging. Your goal is to mimic this. Keep the soil evenly moist, like a wrung-out sponge. The tactile test is your best tool. Before watering, insert your finger into the soil up to the first knuckle. If the soil at your fingertip feels dry, water thoroughly until it runs freely from the drainage holes. If it feels cool and damp, hold off for another day. I employ a bottom watering technique frequently, especially for establishing plants. Place the pot in a tray filled with 1 inch or 2 of water, and let it sit for 30 minutes. The soil will draw moisture upward through capillary action. This encourages roots to grow downward and deeply, creating a more resilient root system, and it keeps the surface soil and the crown of the plant drier, drastically reducing the risk of fungal diseases like damping off. Humidity is the secret sauce for lush foliage. Ginger's broad leaves transpire readily. In dry indoor air or arid climates, low humidity can cause leaf tips to brown and overall growth to stunt. Combat this by misting the foliage lightly every few days with plain water. Setting the pot on a pebble tray, a tray filled with water and pebbles, ensuring the pot sits above the waterline. Grouping plants together to create a communal humid microclimate. Using a small room humidifier nearby for indoor grows. Tip number 5. Light, temperature and feeding. Creating the ideal growing environment ensures your plant doesn't just survive, but thrives. Temperature is the ignition key. For sprouting, soil temperature is more important than air temperature. Ginger rhizomes will remain stubbornly dormant in soil below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. A seedling heat mat is an invaluable tool for providing this bottom warmth, especially in early spring or in cooler climates. Once growing, maintain ambient temperatures above 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees Celsius. Exposure to temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius can cause chilling injury and halt growth. Light requirements are often misunderstood. Ginger does not want full baking sun. Think of its natural home, the dappled light filtering through a rainforest canopy. Provide bright indirect light or filtered shade. An east-facing location with gentle morning sun and afternoon shade is perfect. A spot with bright reflective light all day, like under a shade cloth or a tree, also works well. Direct afternoon sun will scorch and yellow the leaves, while too little light results in weak, spindly, pale growth and minimal rhizome yield. Feeding is about consistent, gentle nutrition. The amendments in your initial soil mix, bone meal, compost will fuel early growth. About 1 month after shoots appear, begin a regular feeding schedule. Feed every 3 moist 4 weeks during the active growing season, spring through summer, with a balanced water-soluble organic fertilizer, like a 5-5-5 or fish kelp emulsion. Alternatively, you can simply top dress every few months by scratching a handful of fresh compost or worm castings into the soil surface and watering it in. The lush green leaves are the engine that photosynthesizes and sends energy down to grow the rhizomes, so keeping them well fed is a direct investment in your harvest. Now let's talk about common problem you may face and how to fix them. Number 1. No sprouts. After 4+ weeks. If your ginger hasn't sprouted after 4 weeks or more, the most likely causes are a dormant or inhibited rhizome, cold soil, planting too deep, or rot that occurred underground. Gently dig up one piece to inspect it. If it's still firm, the issue is probably temperature. Ginger needs warm soil, ideally above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so a heat mat can help. If the piece feels soft or mushy, discard it and start again with fresh, organic rhizomes that have been properly pre-soaked and allowed to coalesce before planting. Number 2. Yellowing leaves. Yellowing leaves can mean different things, depending on where the yellowing appears. If it's only the older, lower leaves, this is natural aging and nothing to worry about, just trim them off. However, if new growth or most of the plant is turning yellow, it usually signals a problem such as overwatering or poor drainage. Check the soil moisture and make sure the pot drains well. Nutrient deficiencies, especially nitrogen or iron, can also cause yellowing, so a balanced liquid fertilizer may help. In very strong sunlight, leaf scorch is another possibility, in which case moving the plant to softer indirect light can solve the issue. Number 3. Leaf tips browning and crisping. When leaf tips turn brown and crispy, it's usually a sign of low humidity or inconsistent watering. Ginger prefers consistently moist soil and humid air. Try increasing humidity with a pebble tray or humidifier, and avoid letting the soil dry out completely between waterings. Number 4. Stunted, slow, or leggy growth. If your plant looks stunted, grows slowly, or becomes leggy, insufficient light is often the main cause. Move it to a brighter spot with indirect sunlight. Another possibility is that the plant has become root-bound. If growth suddenly slows mid-season while the plant still looks lush, you may want to gently lift the root ball to check how crowded the roots are. Nutrient depletion can also limit growth, so increasing your feeding schedule can make a noticeable difference. Number 5. Pests. Rare but possible pest problems are rare with ginger, but can still occur. Spider mites thrive in dry conditions and cause fine webbing and speckled leaves. Rinsing the plant with a strong spray of water or using insecticidal soap usually controls them, and increasing humidity helps prevent their return. Aphids tend to attack soft, new shoots and can be removed with water or treated with neem oil. Root knot nematodes are more serious and cause knotted, swollen roots and severe stunting. The best prevention is using fresh, sterile potting mix. Unfortunately, there's no cure once they appear, and affected plants should be destroyed. Number 6. The plant flowers. If your ginger plant flowers, that's actually a positive sign. The cone-shaped bloom indicates a mature, healthy plant. The flower doesn't reduce rhizome growth, and many gardeners believe it signals peak maturity. Either way, it's something to enjoy rather than worry about. So that is everything you need to know to grow ginger the right way and achieve a bigger, healthier harvest. Understand that ginger is a long-season crop. It grows actively during the warm months. In late autumn, as temperatures drop and daylight wanes, the foliage will naturally begin to yellow and die back. This is the plant's signal that the rhizomes are entering dormancy. For your main maximum harvest, stop watering once the foliage has largely died back. Carefully dump out the entire contents of the pot and sift through the soil to reveal your ginger treasure. You'll be amazed at the mass of rhizomes that have formed. Break them apart, brush off soil, and select the plumpest, healthiest pieces to save for replanting next season. If this helped you, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss more videos like this. And if you have questions or tips of your own for growing ginger, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.